some time back when the Mao forest, the first instant when the Mao forest, the media had highlighted the issue of the Mao forest and how the encroachment was taking place. It was very interesting that at the time, the Minister for Environment told Kenyans that rains come from the skies. And for him, coming from that region, he was making a political statement. Then you'll always remember the story about the tree and the axe. And the West African story whereby one of the strongest trees in the forest was telling the colleagues how the farmer chose that particular tree because it forms a very strong handle for the axe. But the neighboring trees told that particular tree that don't forget that this axe is being put together to bring us down. Right now, you find that the buzzword globally is sanitize, wash your hands, wear a mask, keep social physical distance, stay at home. These are the new buzzwords aimed at self-preservation against the COVID-19 pandemic. This has almost brought the world to an end, not to an end, to its knees. And never before has the human race been so united to fight a common enemy. But are we not finding interesting that the problem we are facing right now could have emanated from lack of concern for the environment? And studies have shown that indeed there's a correlation between destruction of the environment and emerging diseases like coronavirus. A recent research by Australia and US scientists contained in the Royal Society magazine indicates this. So clearly exploitation of wildlife for trade, hunting and expansion of agricultural land, industrialization, all this bring close contact between human and wildlife and also destroys biodiversity. Look at the issue of greenhouse gas emissions, pollution and overexploitation of mineral resources, which are equally contributing to environmental degradation. So from all these things that have even been raised by the previous speakers, there's a clear indication that what happens in another part of the village, country, or world has very wide ramifications to each and every one of us. So how does the media come in and how can we intervene? Basically, as George mentioned in the beginning, media plays a very key role in helping preserve our planet, both at local and global level. So as media, I believe we can drive local agenda, but equally team up with experts in other countries to steer global environmental issues. Because definitely changing in environment and biodiversity affects all of us. But unlike other species, we can decide which course this takes. If you look at the UN Sustainable Development Goals, more than half of those goals, there's a correlation with biodiversity and environment. Almost all those goals are basically aiming at maybe about three major things: to enable us breathe, drink, and eat. So I think the media can play a critical role through sensitization, sensitizing the public by creating environmental awareness. And on the other hand, also shine the torch on policymakers, communities, industries, and institutions that are degrading the environment. So we could be looking at just the cutting down of the forests and the hunting and killing of wildlife, but what are industrialists also doing to our environment? What are the major infrastructure projects doing to our environment? A project like the SGR, what is it doing to our environment? On the other hand, the media can also carry out positive stories of those promoting environmental conservation, so that you don't just have the negative side, but who is doing also something positive to conserve the environment. This can be done either through specialized reporting or training of journalists to help equip them to better tell environmental stories. Kenya still lacks expertise in terms of telling environmental stories. Most newsrooms, you'll find that political stories dominate the media, be it TV, be it radio, be it newspapers. Environmental stories, when they come, are tucked way inside. So what can we do in partnership with organizations like UNEP, which we are privileged to have here in Kenya, to tell these stories, but tell them in a way that it resonates with the local person in Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. I don't think environmental stories should take the shape of he said, they said, you know, they reacted. I think environmental stories should be told through anecdotes and very captivating ways that can make them draw in or attract the attention of the readers. As Kenya Editors Guild also, the guild could try and come up with the training. We've been having town hall meetings, and in those town hall meetings, the guild can use those opportunities to also bring in environmental issues in, because those town hall meetings will meet people who are supposed to be the policy makers in that area and the leaders of the region. We could use our town hall meetings to drive the environmental and biodiversity agenda so that we can hear from the people and also tell them what can be expected from them. Because environmental conservation didn't start yesterday. As Dorothy said and previous speakers, growing up, you could be told that this particular area cannot be farmed. Or if you uproot this particular tree, that tree, there's an ogre that lives around that tree, so don't interfere with that tree. And that tree could grow to be a very big tree, but maybe the elders knew why they were using such kind of techniques to keep you away from environmental destruction.